Civilization 6 got number 3, and it's just a fantastic game. I'm just going to tell the con of the game straight away before the pros. The biggest con is you do not have enough time to play it. It's that long of a game.
Ooh, really?
You know, it's that good of a game because it's so strategy based that it can take like 500 moves as the max moves. So,
Is
you know,
that a in real time genre game?
I think there's a way to set it like that, or you can just do it as 500 moves for just the game itself against the computer.
Okay.
But I think there is a thing where you can actually make it even like slower and make it like longer, just because if you want to be a Satanist and destroy your own life, then insanity, then go for it. But that's the biggest con
Hmm.
is because you can have up to 12 players in the same match. So in order to win the game, there's 3 possible ways of winning the game, which is a science victory, where you actually land on the moon. You manage to win the moon landing, or there's a cultural victory where you win it from like some music and theater, or you can just go out and do a domination victory, which is just pure war. You wipe out every civilization on the board in the match. So, it kind of just depends. Each victory also dictates the length of the game, which is kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at XCOM or like Fire Emblem, or there's one other game I can't remember what it is, but it's that tabletop kind of view with
Yeah.
6 tiles. But you can have multiple cities, so you've got multiple moves per city across this continent against the AI, which is obviously trying to beat you. So there's a ton of replayability with it because it always changes every game depending on the leaders you pick, because there's like 56, 57 leaders to choose from. It's mental. But I do think you would like it. It's definitely strategy based, and you could even set yourself challenges like people do in it, where
So
you can do so many moves for a victory.
and
People
so
do that all the time.
this was something that was upgraded this year, or just something you finally tried this year?
Um, this actually got new content this year. This is the reason I saw it.
Okay.
Because they released, it's called the Leaders Pack, and they're releasing 6 new packs with 6 leaders per pack up until 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And it popped up on Steam, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, what's this? Piqued my interest. Obviously, at this point, I was playing Elden Ring very heavily,
Uh-huh.
so I want a little bit of a break, but I want something with a challenge. And this popped up, and I saw that Abe Lincoln was in it, and Teddy Roosevelt was in it, and Queen Victoria, like historical figures, obviously. And I was like, okay, got to give this a go. And then when I saw that there was new content coming, and that every leader has a different outcome, or there's a different possibility of playing the game, I was like, okay, I'm sold. And they're still making content, and this game's out 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, this has blew my mind, because most companies give up. What is it, after like 4 years on content typically?
Mm-hmm.
So it just blew my mind, and I got super glued on it, even to the point where I got my dad a copy for when he gets his new PC, because it's a co-op.
What was the most addicting thing about it?
Honestly, being the quickest to get to the moon. Trying to get it down from, say, like 400 moves to like 300, trying to get it better every time, because
Mm-hmm.
you have to, there's like 3 sections to a science victory, but you've also got to compete with getting attacked and trying to obtain land and, juggle economies
Uh-huh.
all at the same time. So yeah, the most addictive thing was trying to beat my previous score in terms of moves every time.
Nice. Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'll have to definitely look at that if I get a chance to play it. Maybe it'll pop up on Plus or Game Pass or something.
yeah, and I mean, it's even on Switch, if you've got a Switch.
Yeah,
And it's cross-platform, I'm pretty sure.
I just got to be very careful about what games I play because I don't want to. I need to get out of the mood of buying something and just not playing it.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
I mean, I'm not saying I'll hate it, but I'm just with it being a kind of a different sort of game. I'm so afraid if I buy it, I'll play 30 minutes of it and never play it again.
Yeah, and do you know what? I was a bit like that at first. What you should, if it wasn't for Fire Emblem, I don't think I would have took the chance on it. But because I enjoyed Fire Emblem so much, and it was that, strategy again with so many tiles and team, absolutely loved it. But you should, I did a stream on it a couple months back, and it's like 3 hours, and it's quite a big chunk of the game. So that probably give you a good insight, into what it's about.
Okay.
Because you can use leaders too to boost like science or boost like war victories or cultural victories, and then you make peace treaties, and it's very good. It's very political but fun. Never a dull moment. It's got some pretty cool animations. You actually see the soldiers move, like any like little animations with cars and trucks move as the
Oh, really?
different time periods go across. Yeah, because if you keep upgrading, you can get into the modern civilization, hence the name Civilization 6. But like the vehicles, like you get delivery trucks and little post trucks,
Mm-hmm.
certain things. So yeah, it's got some cool animations. I would say, you know, that's kind of a neat little theme.
So
But
it
other than
goes
that, no.
it goes through time periods.
Yeah, so you start in like Julius Caesar kind of time period,
Mm-hmm.
and then you keep upgrading between science and culture. So culture's kind of like, the theater, music, scripture, that kind of way, and then science is obviously colleges and nuclear, chemicals, and then
Okay.
as you progress, once you upgrade your capital, you go into a new civilization, which gives you access to new troops, new research, basically more chances to win the game. The quicker you can keep upgrading. Um, and then eventually you get to the modern day where you literally see rockets get sent to Mars and the moon. It's
Wow.
pretty cool. It's pretty
So
well done.
someone just starting like me, what kind of time speed would you recommend?
I would recommend that you would do the default amount of moves, which is
Mm-hmm.
500, to experience the game,
Okay.
at its finest. But I would recommend going into the settings, speeding up the animations from standard to, I think it's like 2 times, which
Okay.
would make it's a little bit quicker. So when you make a move, say if you move 12 different um, pieces of military, because you can get helicopters and all that, they'll move at a quicker pace. So instead of watching, the slow animation of them walk across 6 tiles, it could be done in maybe 20 seconds, that movement.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would 100% recommend. Other
Okay.
than that, I would recommend probably going on like maybe
Now, this is civilized.
AIs.
Oh, sorry.
6 AIs maybe when you begin is quite a fair amount
Okay.
because it's still challenging, but not too challenging. If that makes sense, you can still make more peace treaties and trades and all that kind of stuff.
So this is the sixth game. What exactly, is new compared to the older games, or do you know?
Um, I never played the fifth one. I played the fourth one, and I believe certain peace treaties and certain victories. Um, and then I think they added in more research and more culture, for more, so like different time periods. But typically, they're basically the same for the most part
Okay, so
in
it's
the
kind of
play
like,
style.
in a way, it's kind of like the way Super Smash Brothers works, where it's basically the same game, just slightly they add just, new details and new, features slightly, and they don't change the formula up too much.
Exactly, yeah. Like Super Smash Bros. That's a great example. And the
Okay.
reason it's kind of stayed the same too is because this started out as a board game before computers started having games. So this was originally a board game that they adapted in the 90s, I believe. I think it was like
Okay.
1991. Not 100% certain, but I believe it was the 90s, but I think it was about 91.
What was that board game
Um,
called? Um,
it's like Jumanji, that kind of style.
well, I'm thinking about something that was on Seinfeld. Risk. Is it like Risk?
Oh, what was that game?
Let's see. Let me look it up. Risk. It was on Seinfeld. That's what I know it from. Because
Bum, bum,
Kramer,
bum, bum, bum.
Kramer and Newman are playing it everywhere they go. They can't trust each other to leave.
It's exactly like that in a way. It's that kind of thing
Yeah.
in a way.
Let's see. Heck, battle opponents in strategic warfare. No, wait, that's the app. I'm sorry. Let me
But
look up.
it is definitely that style of game.
Strategy board game of diplomacy, conflict, and conquest.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so I wonder if that's
Yeah.
what inspired them.
Well, I know it was in actual Sid Meier's Civilization was a board game, and then it moved to computer, and it kind of just grew from there, like to what it is. But it's one of them games that has so much replayability because every time you start up, you start in a different location on the continent. You can set different rules, different leaders. Like it's always random.
Okay.
So, and replayability is important. I think it's got like 1,000 achievements in it as well.
Jeez.
So
Man.
uh, yeah, it is good. It's good
Yeah.
fun.
I'll keep an eye out
Again, it's
for
one
it.
of them games that you can play at your own leisure because you can save it and come back to it in a month's time and still enjoy what you're doing.
Okay.
So
Civilization 6. I wonder if that's on Game Pass at all.
I think it is, but it's always on sale.
It's always on sale.
Yeah, like I bought it and it was supposed to be €200, and I got it for something 15% on sale.
Okay.
So
Let's see. It says it's on there, but this was back in 2021 when they said it was. So I'll look for it later. 'Cause I'm
yeah, it's good. It's very good. It's very you can challenge yourself and speed run yourself and
see.
loads of stuff.